Happy April, everyone. We're officially open tomorrow, April 2nd, and I wanted to give everybody an idea of what we currently have out on the tables. So we just have a few blackberries, triple crown blackberries available. Um, and we probably won't have a lot more this year. So first come, first serve. Um, and I apologize, I don't have tags out on most stuff yet, so you'll just have to ask us what things are. The only strawberries we're doing this year will be the Alpine strawberries and the Virginia native strawberries. Um, the Virginia native strawberries won't be out until, well, probably for 2 or 3 weeks at least. Um, we have some jewel black raspberries, quartz, and possibly those little guys. We'll see if any of those made it through the winter, actually. Ohio Treasure black raspberry is just now coming up. That's a primocane fruiting black raspberry that we're trialing right now. Um, these are a flowering raspberry, a native ornamental. It doesn't actually produce any significant fruit. Um, Wildwood and Bob Gordon elderberries, a decent amount of those in quart pots for $8. Um, the honeyberries got set on the ground here. We've got quite a lot of honeyberries this year, really nice selection. Most of them are just little guys in quart pots still, but we do have a fair amount of those gallon size. Let's go around the corner here. All right, blueberries, St. Cloud, Hannah's Choice, which is a super early one, a couple early blue, Patriot, Blue Crop, Blue Ray, Elliott, which is a super late one. We have a ton of Big Life goji berries, and we have a bunch of Sweet Life gojis ready to be potted up from cuttings last year, but those will be 2 or 3 weeks. The Phillips Highbush Cranberry is the native one, and then we also have Kalinka Highbush Cranberry. Just a couple gallon pots of the Aronias, but we have plenty of quart pots, and we do have, I think, we just have 2 Vikings in gallon pots. If you're looking for the shorter ones, we do have a bunch of really nice cuttings that need to be potted up that will be ready in 2 or 3 weeks of Viking, and we may have Nero, I'm not sure about that, but I know we have a lot of Viking. Sweet Scarlet, Gummies. We have had so many requests for Gummies this year. Now we've got a whole tray of the Sweet Scarlet cuttings. And so those are the original plant. And then also some, almost 2 trays of the Sweet Scarlet seedlings. Now the carmine, we just have 1 carmine seedling left, plus this dinky little guy, which isn't going to do anything. I don't know. Should be thrown out. Okay. Let's go around here to the herb table. The ramps are looking gorgeous right now. They're all fully up. This is their season to shine. And the Virginia bluebells. We've got a few native irises there. Some of the native celandine poppies. Golden seal, Labrador violets. Well, okay, the golden seal, any of the herb stuff that's not up in the pots yet, I don't really want to let go until we know that it's, made it through the winter well. But we have some, the Kentucky kernel mint coming up in the pots, Himalayan silver mint. The wild bergamot is well up and going, some nice gray catmint. Amsterdam lemon mint, horseradish, that's big top horseradish. The rockin' raspberry bergamot is coming up. We've got anise hyssop. I'm not sure about those others. Okay, we've got a few spice bush, and we should this year have some male and female spice bush cuttings that will be available here in a few weeks. So that's really exciting. Got a fair amount of service berries there, mostly the Allegheny service berries. A few little tiger-toothed jujubes that we'll be grafting onto this year because we don't have a pollinator for those, unfortunately. We've got a few mulberries left over and should be grafting a ton. Those always sell out. We've got Shangri-La, Illinois everbearing, Viola's lavender, Kokuso, some gallon pots of Illinois, Viola's lavender, Shangri-La. That's a bigger Shangri-La there in the 2-gallon pot. Just a couple of little balloon flowers coming up there. These are all milkweed that we're waiting to come up before we sell those. Sweetgrass, thyme, hill hardy rosemary, some compact oregano, and Arum Gold creeping oregano, winter savory, chocolate burnet. A little bit of French tarragon coming up there, some coneflowers, a few of the angustifolia, as well as just like the yellow coneflower, some pink, what was it called? Prima donna echinacea, that's more the ornamental type. Tansy, lots of yarrow, some asters, valerian, dianthus, field pussy toes, pink hip roses, and just a couple white hip roses left in quart pots back there. And while I'm thinking about it, I just slipped in the mud here. Bring shoes that you don't mind getting muddy because some of the pathways are a mess. Let's go down here to... Okay, here are the flowering quince. That's more of an ornamental than an edible, but they are edible. Now, persimmons, I'm not sure. These are definitely not ready to go yet. I'm not sure what made it through the winter and how everything is doing with those. We have a few little tiny flying dragon, hardy citrus. We have a really hard time keeping those in stock until they get any sort of decent size on them. The Japanese raisin trees are getting nice and big there. The pomegranates, we're waiting for those to leaf out before we sell those. Some purple leaf peach. Okay, guys, these are all of our peaches this year. We tried to order in some larger trees from White Oak, and everyone is out. So, first come, first serve on the peaches. We've got 1 Reliance, 2 Redskin, 1 Raritan Rose, and 2 Harrow Diamond. And that is going to be it. That's going to be it for the season. Sorry about that. We've got a lot of AU Rosa, the ARS, that's the AU Rosa plum. The AMB is AU Amber, I believe. Couple there that I forget what they are. Darren knows what those abbreviations mean. Just 5 little wild plum seedlings left. Sweet cherries, we've got a fair amount of gold, 2 Sam, a Sweet September, and 1 Montmorency sour cherry left from last year, and I do not think we will have other sour cherries this year until the grafted ones are ready to go. Yeah, I should say with the peaches too, we will be grafting peaches, so those should all be ready to go by like mid-June. We do have a few, 1 Romeo and 2 Juliet dwarf sour cherries, really pretty decent pots of those, and you should look those up. They're really exciting new cherry varieties. Got just a few Nanking bush cherries. We might try to order some more of those in. I sort of doubt that we will be able to. Right now we have 0 regular apples, 1 Tremlets bitter, and 1, what is that, Whitney crab. We do have, now those, we do have a fair amount of Liberty, Molly's Delicious, and Arkansas Black on semi-dwarf rootstock that needs to be potted up. We were able to get a few larger trees from White Oak this year. So those will be ready to go in about 2 weeks probably. Oh yeah, there's some random apple. Smoke Barca, it's not one we normally carry. We have a few Asian pears. A fair amount, a pretty decent selection of pears left from last year. The regular pears. And we've got, I don't know, half a dozen Asian pears there. Over here we've got some chestnuts. 2 grafted ones there, I believe. And then the rest are seedling Chinese chestnuts. We've got some nice ginkgo trees in big pots. Only one is ID'd as a male. The others are seedlings. So that is pyramidal form male ginkgo. It's gold spire, really pretty ornamental dwarf ginkgo. Not like a small dwarf, but compact. Some Seneca plums. And that's pretty much it for the conventional fruit trees until we get those apples potted up from White Oak. I believe there were some apricots in there as well, and maybe some sweet cherries. Alright, these are all of the pawpaws. Here's the pawpaw table. Most of these are seedlings that will be grafted onto. But we do have a fair amount of Atwood grafted pawpaws in the gallon pots there. This tray here is all grafted pawpaws. Davis, Jerry's Big Girl. I don't know what Prima 121.6 is. Darren, these are Darren's babies. There's a fair amount of different varieties here. That's another Davis. I think there's a lot of Davis. Jerry's Big Girl. And then more seedlings. We've got a ton of gooseberries this year. There's a nice flat of Jostas. The candy sweet gooseberries, we've got like 4 flats of those. I still need to organize these a little bit more. Pink Round, Pixwell, we've got 2 or 3 flats of Pixwell there. We do have, where are they? We have a couple little clove currants available this year. Those are the native currant. They are not as productive as the European ones, but they're really cool. Unfortunately, even though it's a native, it's not native to our heavy clay soils here, and you really have to find a well-drained place to put those, and they like more sun than the conventional currants. The GDS, those are the Gloire de Sablon, the pink currant. RC, we've got, about 5 of those, the red currant. We've got a few Ben Conan black currants, and then a whole bunch, 2 trays of the regular black currants that have been more productive for us than the Ben Conan. Ben Conan has larger berries, so. The bamboo, it got sort of dried out in winter storage last year, and I think it'll come up, but I'm not sure. We've got one nice one there in the gallon pot. Now bamboo, you can until probably mid-April, you can ask for bare root starts of the bamboo. We can dig those for you. Here are our willow trees. We've got a lot of the gold basket willow, or orange, sorry, the orange basket willow. The VW is a variegated willow, a really pretty one. You can't see the variegation yet on the new leaves, but that's a nice ornamental that can also be used for basketry. We've got lots of nugget hops, cascade hops, and again, if you want bare root hops, you can ask for us to dig some for you for the next couple weeks at least. Just a couple dogwoods, some cornelian cherry dogwoods, and this is sort of exciting. We've finally got some grafted Asian dogwoods, cornelian cherries, 3 of the Julian and 2 Pioneer. Those have been a long time in coming. We have a ton of muscadines and a bunch of random European grapes there. The muscadines are the native, more vigorous types. They're barely hardy up here, but they do make it, and they are so much more vigorous and disease resistant than the European grapes. We're not letting any of the grapes go though until they've leafed out a little bit, because grapes have a really hard time making it through the winter in pots. All right, sunchokes, skirret, which is sort of a interesting perennial root vegetable. You should look it up. It's really, it's a pretty plant. Makes sort of carrot-like roots that, and it's easy to propagate from divisions. It's a little less easy to start from seed, so if you've ever wanted to start some skirret, we did the work of getting those seeds to sprout for you. I don't know about the dahlias yet. We'll see when they sprout up, if they made it through the winter well. We've got tons of Ken's Red kiwis, the hardy kiwis here. Some 2-gallon pots, 1-gallon pots. I don't think we have any quarts of those. We have just a few Ananas-naya, the Anna kiwi. Just 7 of the Sai, the self-fertile one. We finally got a good number of the male kiwis available so that you have a pollinator for Anna or Ken's Red. Down here, those are maypops that look like they've made it through the winter, but again, we're going to wait till they sprout up to be sure before they leave. Ginkgos, I had really good luck with the ginkgo cuttings last year, so we've got Salem Lady is a female ginkgo if you want to get nuts. Ginkgos actually have really good edible nuts if you can get the stinky outer covering off of them. We've got a few jade butterfly male ginkgos and a bunch of the gold spire. Those are all in quart pots for $8. And a few 2-gallon size seedling ginkgo if you want to take a gamble on whether they're male or female. Those will be grafted with either male or female plants eventually. Um, a good number of the Persian walnuts. Those are English walnuts. They're English is sort of a misnomer on those. They're more correctly called Persian walnuts, but I don't know. We still label them English walnuts because that's what people know them as. Um, heart nuts. We've got a lot of nice heart nuts in gallon pots right now. Oh, a beech seedling, few bur oaks. Oh, this is exciting. So we have a bunch of Kanza, like grafted Kanza pecans. We have 1,000,001 Kanza pecan seedlings. Those are seedlings of the improved variety, but we've finally got a few of the actual Kanza variety grafted onto the seedling rootstock here. We have 4 of those available, 1 major pecan, and we've got a couple Okany pecans available. And then, of course, the seedlings. I think it's mostly Kanza seedlings, also some Starking Hardy Giant seedlings, some shellbark hickory seedlings, some shagbark hickory seedlings. We have just a few of the native eastern hazelnuts available this year. We had really poor take on the seedlings for those last year, but we have tons and tons of the European hazelnuts. Jefferson, Yamhill, these are seedlings of those improved varieties. Some improved variety Chinese chestnut seedlings, and just a few of the American seedlings left there. No guarantee on those about whether or not they'll be blight resistant. They're 15/16 Americans from blight resistant parents, but the chances are they won't be blight resistant. A couple grafted chestnuts, some thornless honey locust, and these have been grown out long enough to know that they are indeed thornless. You get about 10% thorny seedlings when you plant the thornless seed from thornless varieties. We've got some redbud here. This is our local native redbud. One lone Kentucky coffee tree seedling. Some salmon dare, pink bush clover, and pink fountains, pink bush clover. Those are really starting to pop up in their pots. The clover didn't make it through the winter very well, but we'll see if anything comes up. We have a few baptisia coming up in the pots there, and a whole flat of the dwarf baptisia that hasn't come up yet, but those were cuttings that were potted up last fall, and they sometimes have trouble overwintering that first winter. And I believe that is it. Of course, we have comfrey that we can dig for you, and I should probably just make another video of the stuff that will be ready soon. A lot of the fruit trees will be grafted here shortly and probably ready to go by June. Here's our price list. The Tier 1 pots are, Tier 1 is basically anything that's not grafted or hard to start from cuttings. Quart pots are $8 this year. Gallon pots are $16. The grafted gallon pots are 20, and so on. All right, happy planting.